Hello and welcome back. My name is Daniela Demier. I'm a nutritionist dietitian and my work focuses in translating nutritional science into practical tools that people can actually sustain in real life. Hormones are deeply related with the way how we eat. Initially, I want to discuss how meals regulate hunger and energy and why timing and structure matter more than we are often told. In the last video, we talked about why a healthy diet is not a trend or a set of moral rules that we need to follow, and why many people struggle with their diet because they think they lack discipline, but because their physiology has been ignored. And today we're gonna build on this idea. This is certainly not about eating perfect, but understanding your body and how it responds to the way how you eat. Hunger is sometimes treated as something that we need to control, override, or silence. But biologically, hunger is closer to a dashboard light than a temptation. It does not appear to bother you, it appears to inform you. Hunger is regulated by a complex system between your gut, your brain, and your hormones. They respond to the energy availability, the sleep, stress, or even meal composition. In the most functional way this system works, hunger can be predictable and proportional. But when it's ignored, it gets louder. Not because it's broken, more because it's doing its job. Many people describe feeling out of control around food. From a physiological perspective, this is like a smoke alarm facing smoke rather than a misbehavior facing the freedom. I want to pass here and ground this in a personal experience. Right now, I'm in Korea during holidays, and sometimes my days shift from one to the other. Mealtime shift, social meals can last longer or can be in different hours that I'm usually eating. Food choices can be influenced by the opportunity of trying foods that I might not be able to try the next month. So I might be more flexible than I normally am. So my hunger levels here have changed. Some days I notice that my hunger levels can be higher than they normally are, or more intense than I expected to. In the past, I have interpreted this as a lack of consistency, but now I see it differently, and I would like to invite you to see also this perspective. When your external environment changes, your internal environment will also change. So instead of forcing a rigid eating pattern, I focus more in a supportive structure. Regular meals when possible, balanced plates, and trying to access to enough energy to stay regulated throughout the day. This is what I mean when nutrition or a healthy diet has to work even under circumstances like this when the environment changes, not only through ideal conditions. Meal timing is often treated as there's a universal time or a universal clock that works for everyone. Although bodies are not machines that run in identical situations or identical schedules. They are more like ecosystems, adapting constantly to how much sleep we got, stress, movement, and even mental load. Human studies comparing intermittent fasting and regular eating patterns show that when total energy intake and food quality are similar, outcomes are often similar as well. What differs here is how people feel and how long they can sustain a certain approach. For some people, longer gaps between meals feel not only helpful but neutral. Meanwhile, others feels that increases the fatigue, the mental fog, or rebound eating later in the day. So this is not about the right strategy, more it's thinking which strategy fits the best for you right now. An eating pattern that works when life is predictable is often fragile because the excess or underconsumption can be a problem. However, when your eating pattern is resilient, it can help you thrive under any circumstance. From a clinical perspective, consistency often supports regulation much more than rigidity. This means that having enough amount of energy during your day or trying to eat at the same times might be even more helpful than trying to quit all the starches, for instance. Instead of seeing your meals as something that you earn, limit, or negotiate with, it can be helpful to see them as inputs into a system. Meals that support your hormonal regulation often includes carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in a volume, warmth, or even texture that support your satiety and feeling of completion. Whenever you make a small, delayed, or narrow meal, the body will compensate later. Your hunger will intensify, cravings increase, and your decision making becomes harder. Whenever you have a balanced meal, which includes all the macronutrients that I mentioned before, your body reduces the negotiation around how to eat. Having a balanced meal often creates quiet, not because hunger disappears, but because it becomes understandable. Let me give you an example. If there's a crash of energy often in the afternoon, you might also want to ask yourself if you're having enough energy or if you're having enough food before afternoon. A healthy diet is not about forcing the body into obedience, more about creating the conditions that helps or makes regulation become possible. As conclusion, I want you to remember that nutritional wisdom starts whenever you take into account the fact how to make a healthy plate. What are the components? What are the times that you're going to be eating? What is going to be the patterns that you're going to create? Although it's very important that you take into account your self-awareness. How are you feeling day to day so you can make the adjustments with your nutritionist or your dietitian or even the ones that you can do by yourself. It is crucial that you also take into account your context. So before judging yourself, I want you to remember these three things. Your hunger physiology, which is related to how much did you sleep or how much stress are you facing. Second, the energy balance, which is related to how sufficient food are you getting. And if you are feeling satiety with the amount and the quality of food that you are getting. And last but not least, the meal composition. Are you having enough fiber, the quality of the proteins, the amount of fats that you're having as well? When science and self-awareness work together, eating or having an eating pattern doesn't have to be a problem. If this video was useful for you, I invite you to subscribe. And if there is a topic that you would like to suggest, you can leave it in the comments below. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.